Well, hello again. That was very strange. All of a sudden, my screen just went black. So let's start it up again and hope that we don't have a little glitch. Let me look here. All right. Well, I'm sure if anyone was on live, I kicked you off and I hope you will return. Anyway, I have said it before and I'm going to say it again that October is for me the start of just a wonderful season. And I was at a networking meeting for the Professional Women's Network I guess this past Wednesday. And one of the questions that we asked was, um, what is your favorite thing about fall? And I was so surprised to hear so many people say that what they love about October was number one, it was their birthday month, or number two, that they love the opportunity to get cozy and to bring out their fall clothing to help them be cozy. So today I am wearing my olive green cashmere turtleneck or cowl neck sweater. And you can see in the background, I have got my pumpkin spice candle just lit up and scenting my office, and it's just wonderful. So, um, I hope that we are not having problems getting people on. If we are, I'm going to be very sad. But so anyway, I'm going to start because it does say my key frame rate is too low. Action needed. I don't know why that is or why that would be. I'm going to have to learn more. So this is what just gets me so frustrated in business sometimes, these technical things that we sometimes don't have any control over. So anyway, I want to dedicate the month of October to beautifying your closet and simplifying your life. And so this came to me as I was beginning to transition my fall wardrobe, and really taking a look at what I could get rid of, what I wanted to keep, and then deciding, well, what should I do with what I want to get rid of? So I realized that, it's a process. And so in our 30 minutes together on Fashion Flair Friday, we're not going to get to all of it, but that's why I want to dedicate the month to this whole conversation. So my friend Brenda says in her book, she says, go ahead, look inside your closet right now. So maybe you're not in front of your closet, but think about if you were standing in front of your closet, what would you see? She says, I think it's safe to say you've got too much stuff. She knows this, doesn't she? Coco Chanel said, true elegance consists not in having a closet bursting with clothes, but rather in having a few well-chosen numbers in which one feels totally at ease. So I want you to think about, do you see your clothes that are hanging on hangers? Do you see those hangers just pressed really tight up against one another? Well, I can tell you that most of the closets that I go into that I see really have way too much stuff. And oftentimes clothes that are past their expiration date. So I really want to encourage you in the month of October to really get those spoilers out of your closet. So think about, okay, what are the kinds of things that really need to make their exit this month? Maybe it's going to be, for me, it was clothes that don't work with my changing hair color. And that may be the same for you. Or maybe it is clothes that really aren't fitting you right anymore. And you keep holding on and you keep thinking and praying that you're going to lose that 10 pounds, but it doesn't happen. So, you keep them yet another season, and it just perpetuates and gets you frustrated and maybe even get you a little depressed. So let's get rid of that kind of stuff. What about things that where your lifestyle has changed and it's changed so much that half of the clothes in the closet really you don't have to wear anymore because you don't have the lifestyle to do that. And I always use the example of my professional women who retire and they go into retirement and they've still got all these wonderful suits and beautiful things, and yet they just hang there. So let's get rid of those kinds of things. So when I say to you, clean out your closet, what sort of emotion comes up for you? Oh, hi, Betty. I'm glad to see you. You made it on. I was having some technical challenges. So good. It says my key frame rate is too low. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so when I say clean out your closet, what emotion comes up for you? I mean, for some people, it's that dread, like, oh my gosh, it's going to take way too much time to deal with all this. So, hey, better yet that I don't even bother to start the process. So, the dread is an emotion. How about the overwhelm? I'm not sure how to tackle 10 years worth of stuff that I have in here. How do I get rid of it? What do I do with it? How do I begin the process? So, overwhelm could be another emotion. How about confusion? Where do I even begin? Look, I've got this lovely walk in closet. Where do I start? Well, that's an emotion. Or it could be excitement, which for me, it's always about the excitement. Just seeing the possibility in a new creative way that my closet can be clean, it can be efficient, and it can be filled with only the things that really work for my lifestyle right now, or only work for my coloring, only work for my body, etc. Because guess what? You go to your closet every single morning and just start your day there, and you end every evening there. So I want you to think about your closet as a sanctuary, a place that you really enjoy going rather than a place that you dread or you feel overwhelmed or you're confused about what to do. So let's see if I can, you know, give you a little excitement or get you a little excited during the month of October to begin to deal with what's in the closet. So put in the comments if you have any of those emotions. So do you deal with that emotion of dread or overwhelm or confusion or better yet, excitement? So what I want you to think about, number one, is what that emotion is that comes up for you. But then I want you to think about mindset because mindset is so strong in so many parts of our life. And actually, mindset is very much a part of dealing with what's in the closet. So mindset is kind of that gatekeeper of the mind. And so what I like to encourage myself to do and for you to do is to decide to plant seeds of positivity and inspiration rather than criticism or doubt. So, a positive mindset is really going to help you be more successful with everything that you do, including having a closet that brings you joy. So, today, what I'd like to do is to begin the process and to inspire you to make the effort that it takes to get your closet into a sanctuary for yourself. Now, what I want you to do is to, number one, not feel bad about the fact that you've got so much stuff in the closet, or not feel bad about the fact that nothing's making you happy, or not feel bad that there's a lot of clothes in there that you're not wearing but you're still keeping. You see, I don't want you to feel bad about that. What I just want you to do is to begin the process of the editing and the learning more and the moving forward and all those kinds of things. So for me, I actually get excited about giving things away because I feel like if things are in my closet and they are not being worn, well, why shouldn't they serve their purpose and be the joy of somebody that would wear them? So I look at it that way rather than, oh my goodness, I spent, all this money on these clothes, I should keep them. No, I think about, okay, somebody else can enjoy them better than I'm enjoying them right at the moment. So think about that too. There are people out there that would love to have what you're ready to give away. And whether that's you taking things to consignment or whether that's giving them to your favorite charity who is going to resell them and raise funds to support their cause, just look at it like, oh, I'm paying this forward. I'm passing this forward. So how about you? Do you feel any qualms about actually giving things away? All right. I can also tell you that chaos makes me a little cranky. Okay. I would prefer to have the feeling of abundance that comes from getting rid of distractions. So, clutter is distracting to me, whether it's in my office or whether it's in my closet. Yeah, it's not a good thing. So, I'm not tidy. That I'll tell you. I'm not one of those tidy people, but I do like organization. So, do you like organization? You've heard that old adage, less is more. So think about it. If you were to weed out all the clutter, then you would actually be able to see what you have. So let's go ahead and start with, um, first of all, okay, so I see I have several viewers on now, which I apologize if you were having problems due to technical difficulties getting on. We had a little technical glitch. But anyway, say hello, let me know you're here. Go back when you have a chance and re listen to the beginning that is kind of setting the stage for where we're going this particular month of October. And as I mentioned, we're going to take the month of October to beautify your closet and simplify your life. So today I want to really start with a few guidelines just to get you going. Number one, probably the easiest thing to do is to stand in the closet and look and see, are there simple things like uh, plastic bags or mismatched hangers or shoes that are just laying on the floor rather than having a place in the closet, or jewelry that is laying on top of your dresser because there's really no place to put it. You see, so kind of just clean and tidy that up. So plastic bags, hangers, skis, boxes of photos, just your excess baggage, or maybe it's one of your suitcases that you're storing in your closet. I'm going to encourage you to find other places in your home to actually take all of this stuff. So maybe it's going to be somewhere in your garage. Maybe it's going to be in a guest closet. But that kind of stuff doesn't really belong in your closet if you want to think about your closet as your sanctuary. Okay? So that could be really simple. Now, what I forgot to say is I want you to take all of this in little snippets of time. I like to do 30 minutes at a time. And you can set a timer and you can just say, okay, for 30 minutes this weekend on Saturday, and maybe 30 minutes on Sunday, I'm going to spend 30 minutes really kind of getting in that closet and starting to look at the situation and taking some steps. The first step, as I said, get rid of the obvious. Okay. So you don't have to just do 30 minutes. If you want to keep on going, then reset the timer again and do another 30 minutes. Really easy to do. But in other words, the reason I set the timer and the reason I do it in small chunks of time is it doesn't feel so overwhelming. So that's where I want you to begin. And then what I want you to do is I want you to Probably the next thing I would say is make sure your clothes are organized by category. So what I like to do is I like to put all my pants together. I like to put all my, cardigan sweaters together. I like to put all my jackets together, my blouses together. My dresses and my skirts I kind of put together because I don't have a lot of those. So what you want to look at is what do you have in your closet and how much of each category do you have? So reorganize it that way. And then that's going to help you take a category at a time for that 30 minutes that you've got going and really go through that category and analyze what should stay and what should go. Okay. Third thing I want you to do is look at the category and say, okay, let's say blouses. So, do these blouses serve my lifestyle now? Has my lifestyle gotten very casual so I don't need a lot of the silk or the satin blouses that I have there? Or has it gotten dressier or more formal because of my business? And maybe I don't need as much of the t-shirts and the tanks and, the linen blouses, etc. So, thinking about fabric as well. Now, we happen to live in an area where we can wear a lot of our clothes almost year round, but there are definitely some distinct things in my wardrobe, like linen sleeveless blouses, that I'm not going to take into fall, into winter. So I need to remove them and I need to put them somewhere where they can sit and reside until next spring. So in my case, I have a guest room. And so I use the closet there to take and put those things that are obviously spring and summer as I am getting ready to prepare my fall closet. So my flip flops, my sandals, those kinds of things, again, go somewhere else. I don't need to incorporate them or save them to put into my fall, into my winter closet. So the, out of sight, out of mind is kind of a good philosophy so that you're not confusing yourself thinking, oh, I've got all these shoes, but then you suddenly realize, half of them are actually spring and summer kinds of things. They're not going to serve me well for fall. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, don't hesitate if you've got any questions as I'm talking through this. Don't hesitate to go ahead and ask the questions. The other thing I want you to be looking at as you're going through things is not only do they no longer fit your lifestyle, but as I mentioned to you, have you had a change of hair color? Are you letting it go natural or are you putting warm highlights in it? And typically, your hair was more on the cool side. Hair color is going to really affect what you can and cannot wear and what you should or you should not have in your closet. So for me, with my hair going cool, a lot of the warm things that I have in my closet aren't working anymore. So guess what? They got pulled out of that category and they went onto the bed to decide where they were going to go next. And I'll talk about that in a minute. The other thing to look at would be clothes that, as I said, that aren't fitting, that they are too tight and they distract you. Or maybe they're too big and baggy. Maybe you've lost weight. So you need to decide, do you want to spend any money on having things altered? Are they worth it? Do you love them enough to keep them? Or do you need to get rid of them? And I know, as I've said before, we all get tempted to say, if I just lose 10 pounds, I'll be able to get into that. Ask yourself how long you've been keeping that piece in your closet saying that same thing. And if it's more than one season, in other words, if last fall you were telling yourself the same thing about that article and you're telling yourself the same thing this time, then I want you just to get rid of it. And as I said before, realize that there's some other individual out there that would love to have or would love to wear that piece. So, thinking about where you are going to take things, I would say the easiest thing is to ask yourself, well, are these in really good condition and can they go to a consignment? So, consignment stores are very picky, as well they should be, because they only want to sell things to their clients that are in good condition. So they're going to make sure that there's no little spot. They're going to make sure that they're clean. They're going to make sure that the sweater isn't pilled. Um, so really, with a fine eye, look at your things and say, do I think that I could hang this, or that a retailer could hang this in their store and sell it? Well, that's what a consignment store is. They're a retailer wanting to sell to their clients. So they're going to be very picky. So don't take it personally if they turn things away. And I've had things turned away, actually, for maybe a variety of reasons, one of which might be that the styling just wasn't for the typical client of that particular consignment store. So they're in business to make money, and so they are going to be picky about what they take. So anything that doesn't go to consignment, then find your favorite charity. So maybe it's the Discovery Shop, or in our area, it might be the SPCA or Yellow Brick Road or Goodwill for things that really are not in good condition. Um, so you want to have a plan ahead of time when you do this. Where am I going to take this stuff and get it out of my site next week? Okay. So let's see, what else? Look at your accessories. Okay, this is something that we accumulate a lot of over time. And so for me, again, with my hair color change, I can tell you all the warm accessories, the warm golds and the coppers and the things that I used to do when my hair was brown and I had the blonde streaks in there, not something that I'm going to keep now. I'm definitely transitioning over to, the cool metals, the silvers and the platinums and the white golds and so forth. So those are things to really ask yourself, do my metals still support my coloring? And if not, those can go away. How about your scarves? So I accumulate a lot of scarves. So I cleaned out a lot of scarves that I took to consignment and that I took to the Discovery Shop. Maybe you accumulate a lot of black pants. Okay, so how many black pants do you need? Or how many navy blue pants do you need? Try them on, see which ones are comfortable on you, see which ones have a leg style that's flattering for your body, and that it is on trend, or that you can pair up with other things in your closet to really create nice outfits. So just remember that we tend to rebuy things that we know work for us, okay? And we often ignore the fact that we could use something different. We could do something different. So I want you to come into your closet this first week, and I really want you to come in with an open mind and with an okay mind that says it's okay to get rid of these things. Because again, those tight hangers that are, rubbing against one another are not going to serve you well. You can't see what's in the closet when everything is packed in tight. So let me see if I have any questions here. All right. Well, thanks for coming. First of all, ladies, I really appreciate it. And I'm glad you're here, even if you came in late. Christine, no problem, because you can always go back and listen to the replay to catch the front end of the video. And Sylvie says, yes, she'd love for someone else to enjoy wearing something I wore. Yes, I think, it's that shift in mindset of just looking at it in a different way. At the beginning of the video, I did talk about, those emotions that come up for us when we think about cleaning out our closet. the dread, the overwhelm, the enthusiasm, the excitement. So, really identify for yourself what comes up for you when I say the word, hey, this week it's time to start cleaning out the closet. And to overcome that, again, do it in small snippets of time. Be honest with yourself. Be willing, if you're going to keep something and it's not fitting, that you're willing to have it altered, or you're willing to have it stitched if it needs to be repaired. And only keep things that are of recent vintage. So, again, 10 years, that's way too long. In 10 years' time, I can tell you, I don't care how good a shape things are in, styles have moved on, styles have changed. So I love classic styles, there's no doubt about it, but 10 years is too long. And I can tell you, I go into a lot of closets and see things 10 years or older. So I hope that that will get you started for this first week. We are going to, over the month, we're going to be talking about the 5 steps that start with an R. Okay, we are going to remove. So that's what I'm asking you to do this week, to focus on that, to just be motivated to at least start the process and remove what you can in the time frame you allot yourself. And then we're going to talk about redecorating, because again, remember, this is your sanctuary. We're going to talk about reorganizing things. We're going to talk about redefining things. And we're going to be talking about being able to relax when you're in your closet. So that's what I have planned for you this month. And I would love nothing more than for you to take pictures as you're going through the process of things laying on the bed, or things in bags that you're going to get rid of, or even, something around your neck, a scarf around your neck that says, I'm keeping this, I love this. So let's have some fun with this, and let's encourage one another to really get started, because this changeover in season is the perfect time to begin the weed out before you bring new items for fall and winter into your closet. So one last check here. Okay, Diane, good. Glad to see you here. And I happened to see Diane at a networking event this week, and she was looking fabulous as a result of last week's Fashion Flair Friday, where I talked about, column dressing. And at 5'1", Diane just looked darling in her ensemble. So good job, Diane. All right. And Sylvie, we'll see you, and Christine and Janice and Betty, we'll see you again next week. And hopefully, you've made some progress and you'll share that with us in between now and the next time we get together. All right. We'll see you all very soon. That's a wrap on this week's edition of Fashion Flair Friday. Remember, beautify your closet and simplify your life. Take care now. Bye-bye.